In the early hours of August 20th, 2023, 19-year-old Andrea Vazquez and her boyfriend were in a parked car at Penn Park in Whittier, California. Suddenly, 20-year-old Gabriel Esparza approached the vehicle and opened fire. In the ensuing chaos, Andrea's boyfriend managed to escape and run for help before returning and finding her gone. Seizing the opportunity, Gabriel had kidnapped the severely injured Andrea, transporting her to a remote area in Moreno Valley. That's where he allegedly attempted to sexually assault her before abandoning her lifeless body in an open field. During the time of the kidnapping, Andrea's sister Edelyn used social media to initiate a search. The following day, the search came to a tragic end as Andrea's body was discovered in the field. Authorities immediately arrested Gabriel in connection with Andrea's death. On August 23, 2023, Gabriel, who is the son of a Los Angeles County fire captain, found himself facing the justice system. During his initial court appearance, he pleaded not guilty to an array of charges including murder, attempted murder, kidnapping, assault with the intent to commit a felony, and 2 counts of attempted forcible rape. Gabriel's hearing begins on October 25, 2023. He is facing life in prison without the possibility of parole if convicted. On April 15, 2023, 32-year-old mother of 4 Casey Allen from Gainesville, Georgia was found dead from multiple stab wounds in her apartment. This happened just one day after she celebrated her first wedding anniversary with Christopher Snow. Casey had shared a Facebook post marking their anniversary and referred to their marriage as a year of survival. The post was later deleted. The couple, who had welcomed a baby boy in December 2022, celebrated their anniversary by creating a stuffed owl at Build-A-Bear, attending a comedy show, and having dinner. The following day, Chris dropped his baby off at his aunt's house, claiming that he stabbed Casey to death during an argument and then took off. His aunt was unsure if the story was true, so she immediately contacted the police to request a welfare check be conducted at Chris's home. When the police arrived at the home, they discovered Casey's lifeless body in a pool of blood on the living room floor covered by blankets. Chris was later arrested after being involved in a car crash on I-85. According to officials, he attempted suicide by slashing his throat before crashing his vehicle. After 4 days in the hospital, he was taken into custody and charged with felony murder, aggravated battery, and aggravated assault. His trial date has yet to be set. On November 16, 2018, 34-year-old Nicole Porciello was murdered by her on-again, off-again boyfriend of 7 years, Jan Popel, in Toronto, Canada. After another breakup between the couple, Nicole began seeing another man. Upon learning this, Jan asked to speak to Nicole and picked her up in a rental car while her 10-year-old son was at hockey practice. During their drive, they began to argue and Jan stabbed Nicole 47 times in the passenger seat of the vehicle. Rather than seeking emergency help, he chose to record a video of Nicole as she slowly bled out. He then went home, leaving her still bleeding in the car, and began to pay bills and buy a dishwasher. A few hours later, in a desperate attempt to conceal the crime, Jan staged the car crash. He deliberately crashed into a streetlight at high speed. Due to the impact and her not wearing a seatbelt, Nicole was ejected from the passenger door, landing 30 feet away in a ditch. Despite the multiple stab wounds and car crash, she was still alive but later died from her injuries in the hospital. The police investigation led to Jan's arrest on November 29, 2018. He was convicted of second-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison with eligibility for parole in 15 years. On February 8, 2019, 39-year-old Aliny Mendes was fatally stabbed during a school run in Surrey, England, in an attack witnessed by her 3-year-old daughter and other bystanders. The assailant was her estranged husband of 17 years, Ricardo Godino, who executed the attack with a kitchen knife. Aliny, who had separated from Ricardo a month earlier due to his controlling and abusive behavior, had taken a bus with her daughter to London Road. Unbeknownst to her, Ricardo had followed the bus and waited for them to get off. As soon as they did, Ricardo stabbed Aliny multiple times before fleeing the scene, leaving their toddler beside her dying mother. Witnesses described the stabs as quick jabs into Alini's torso and neck and said it was reminiscent of a violent scene from a horror film. Aliny had texted a friend that same morning expressing her fear of Ricardo, but she believed he would not harm her in front of the children. Following the attack, Ricardo went to his workplace, confessing to his secretary about the stabbing. Ricardo was arrested and eventually convicted of murder and possession of an offensive weapon. He had meticulously planned the murder as a retaliation for Aliny leaving him and limiting his access to their children. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 27 years. On September 22, 2023, in Kansas City, Missouri, 31-year-old John Wonder dropped his 2 children off on the porch of his in-laws' home at approximately 8:20 a.m. and drove away. Sometime between the prior evening and that morning, he had murdered his 29-year-old wife, Ashli Ehrhardt, in their laundry room by strangling her with a belt and stabbing her multiple times. The couple was going through a divorce, and John was supposed to be moving out of their home on October 1st. At 8:50 a.m., John sent an eerie message to one of his friends saying, quote, "I'm in the car. I have no doubt I will be caught today. I keep thinking about how she never screamed, just took it like a champ. What a gal. To honor her, I will not go out by a gunshot, but hopefully a similar fate." End quote. He then sent another message that read, quote, "Part of me wants to get drunk and watch Shawshank Redemption one last time. However, I think it is time for me to go. Goodbye, house." End quote. A welfare check had been requested by the couple's employer due to their absence from work that morning. Her parents were also notified and met police at the home. At approximately 10:30 a.m., police officers and Ashli's father discovered her body. She was naked from the waist down with a belt around her neck, and the surname Wonder was written in blood on her leg. Investigators also located a large butcher's knife and a meat cleaver near the body. At 10:43 a.m., in response to a text from his sister inquiring about his whereabouts, John replied, quote, "Hey kiddo, sorry about the mess. For the record, it's way easier and much more satisfying than you can imagine. See you around." End quote. John Wonder was later apprehended in Valentine, Nebraska, approximately 8 hours from Kansas City. He is charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action with a bond set at $1 million cash. His first trial date is set for late 2023.